coming down.
Does he have it?
Medeiros is going to get it.
Oh, they're going to toss it. They haven't got it.
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly, Miller's still start chopper. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry! Good evening and welcome to the Lightspeed Racing League Round 12 live from the Nürburgring. I am James Parfitt. I'm going to be here guiding you through all the action with the favoured Australian Dean Biggles into the booth with me this evening. But we are here at the Nürburgring, 5.7 kilometres of absolute epic racing with 16 turns and a 90-degree turn one. I think we can bring Biggles into the booth now. Good evening, young sir. How are you?
Was back in the day there, it's been the German Grand Prix on multiple occasions, and it's just absolutely ballistically fast and furious track. Of course, turn one produces so much of that overtaken opportunity. You got exits out of Coca-Cola, Dunlop curve, of course, that produces the Schumacher S's for high speed. What doesn't this track hold for a Formula One car?
Exactly. We are just coming to the end of practice before we go into 15 minutes of qualifying. Then we have a 3-lap sprint. And then we've got a 33-lap feature with tyre change as well for these guys. We've got 15 cars on track currently at the moment as well. And we have our very own Dan Peoples racing this evening as well. Dan is, well, he's behind the wall, unfortunately, so there he is, back in the pits, bless him already. So Dan is back in the pits, but Dan is racing this evening as well. So it should be quite an interesting one. Last time out, it was Elliot Borg taking the victory by Ryan O'Connor in second and Matt Miller in third in the sprint. In the feature, it was Elliot Borg again, Sean Atkins and Daniel Johnson. Now, what has that done to the championship standings? It has done this to them currently at this moment in time as well. So we can have a look back now. It is Jay Smart leading the way on 149 with Elliot Borg on 136. John Silver on 114 and Matt Miller on 104. Dylan Gonaz on 96. Ryan O'Connor on 88. Tamas Boniatti on 83. Daniel Johnson on 78 with Nathan Graham on 72. Michael Kostick on 67. Mason Sagar 66. Steve Rubens, Carl Herlitsky and Tyler Gatke on 57 with Zachary Kokis down on 53. Beyond that, we've got Lindsay Green, Anthony Giuliano, Steve Baker, Sean Atkins there as well, bringing up the rear. Now, in the team championships, we have got Ball Shift Racing on in front on 219 points with Clutches of Wales on 202. Scudiera Andromeda on 171. Burnt Rubber Racing on 156 with Shyline Racing on 154. Victoria Secrets on 141. Cobalt Racing on 126. Broken Wings Racing on 124. Blue Ballers on 108. And Part-Time Pros on 78. So that is you up to date with the current championship standings before this race and just before we enter into quali. What are we expecting here, Biggles? Because we're rushing down with 15 cars down into turn one. It's going to be rather eventful, right?
It's going to be eventful, and not even just on that. I think it's going to be eventful on other parts of the track. It's also a little bit cooler, I believe, here today too. If you want to show that weather, we're about to have our qualifying session. Once again, it's going to be very, very important. Going back to it because of you're qualifying right now to determine your sprint race position. Of course, we know how powerful that sprint race is. There's your track temperature, 85 Fahrenheit. So that's a little bit warmer than what we thought it might have been earlier. So it has heated up a little bit. Going back to that, yeah, it's important to get a pole position, or at least front row, because of the fact that we know that in the sprint race, it's very hard to catch somebody. You're going to start running away. You don't get that DRS, remember, at the start, and you practically get a lot of your battery to deploy. And then, of course, that then determines how to start your feature race. And we've seen that multiple times, haven't we? Multiple winners of the sprint race also going on to win the feature race.
Yeah, definitely as well. So let's see how these guys go and do their business this evening. So we will give, where are you, Zachary Kokis? Zachary there from the Clutches of Wales team are sporting a new livery this evening. Now the story behind this livery, believe it or not, is basically inspired by the USMC's dress blue uniform and legacy. This week, last year was Zach's last week of active service with the USMC, so that is why they are sporting this livery, this dark blue and red striped livery there as well. So massive shout out.
It's dark blue, is it?
It's very, yeah, look, can you see it?
Very dark. I thought it was black and red there for a second, but you're right with the dark blue, depending on the angle. He had a nice little spinneroo too, as we were talking about that livery. I thought for a second it kind of looked like Kit from Knight Rider.
Oh, I love that program. Oh,
but
that's
actually very good, as you said. So it is a deep blue.
Yeah, it's
very
a
deep
very,
blue.
very deep blue. So we're going to be keeping an eye on Jay Smart. He looks like he will be flying already. He's been very quick in practice. So let's see what he is able to do on his out lap currently at this moment in time before he goes into his main one. So welcome in. Thank you so much for joining us. If you are here, again, appreciate the thumbs up. And if it is your first time, you can subscribe and turn on the bells for notifications, because we've got a lot of racing still to come this week on the JPB YouTube channel. Well, lots of everything. So stay tuned, because it's going to be quite a manic week up here for us in the booth currently, as well as we're at this tough Nürburgring circuit. We have got the Nurburgring, then we've got Detroit, then Suzuka, then Gilles Villeneuve, and then we round out the season on the 26th of April at Interlagos there as well. And then we say goodbye to season 2 of the LSRL F1 for another season, which is going to be a bit of a shame, isn't it, really?
You're saying goodbye to the W12s, whether it'll be going on to the W13s or not.
Yeah.
No doubt not the W14, so it would be a very good machine to be in at this point, because it's too early in the season to be talking about that one. But, yeah, well, a good thing about it, of course, that now this week is that, once again, John S. Silva, my Colombian friend, as my next-door neighbor, essentially, he's back. He wasn't there, couldn't race last week, remember? Mm-hmm. So, and that's crucial for him being third in the championship. So we'll see what he can produce here today, of course, as well as of other gladiators, and as well too as our rookie there of Dan. Well, Dan, my friend, as we all know, Dan, who broadcasts a part of the family here at JP Broadcasting. He's Dutch, my friend. He's the only Dutch driver, and what the Dutch drivers do, they win championships. Although he's only just coming in basically as a reserve, but they are quick, right? Flying Dutchman.
Yeah, generally you would have thought so, but he has got, because of the rules within the LSRL, unfortunately Dan cannot run quali. He's not allowed to run quali because of the mid-season entry of one Mr. Dan Peoples. So basically, he's going to have to sit out quali and run the sprint from the pit lane. So that's going to be interesting for him to see how he gets on.
Do a last to first challenge. Now, do you remember this season, James? Any of the drivers doing a last to first? I'll pick your brain on that one. No, I don't think we have had a driver that actually done a last to first, have we?
No, I don't think we have. We have got our normal picture in picture this evening, so we will be focusing on very own Mr. Jay Smart there. I did give Jay a bit of grief earlier on, partly because he's got such a big screen and he's in VR. It turns out that his kit does slide out of the way, so it is his general working office environment where he is currently at the moment in time as well. So from Jay's point of view, that is why he has got such a big screen in front of him for a man in VR. Another one we've got this evening is Zachary Kokis. Zach there, I did ask Zach to go and put a lumberjack shirt on. He did turn around and tell me he would, but he would end up being a complete sweaty mess before the end of this. I believe Dan can start on the grid, just has to be at the back. No, he's got to start in the pit lane, I believe, as well. And also we do have our very own Dan Peoples on camera as well, and Dan will be, there he is, just sat there patiently waiting for his time to allow to run this car.
Give us a wave.
No.
Is that
clearly not?
Is Dan wearing an Australian jersey?
I don't really know. Apparently it matches the paint livery of his car. His car is red, green and yellow.
Oh yeah, which is very green and gold.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Sorry.
But then somebody also did say, did he like John Deere tractors? So.
Oh,
yeah.
yes, that's right.
Because they're also green and yellow. So it's yeah, a bit of a lonely time for Dan. He's just got to sit there currently at the moment. Jay Smart is flying along quite nicely as he's coming round turn 16. Now Hyundai curve at the top part of the circuit before he gets his lap across the board. What is Jay going to do? Can he jump Nathan Graham currently at the moment? He can on a 125.558. So flying lap there. But Jay Smart.
James, it's not the Hyundai corner, it's the Coca-Cola corner, isn't it?
Well, according to the track map in iRacing, it's called the Hyundai curve.
Yeah, they got it all wrong. They don't know what they're talking about.
Oh,
We'll
okay.
call it the Coca-Cola.
Well, that's fine. Well, you call it where
No,
you
I think
like.
it's been renamed. Yeah, it used to be the Coca-Cola, and Hyundai's said just we'll give you a little bit more money.
Yeah, and then we got the.
Is it still the Dunlop curve? I hope down the bottom there, of course, Yokohama S's.
Okay, so
Oh,
we
they
run
changed
through
all
it. We
that.
got turn one is Yokohama curve. Then we got the AMG Arena, which is turn 3, 2, 3, 4. Then we got the rundown through 5, 6, and 7. Then we got the Goodyear curve at the base of 8. Still the Michael Schumacher S's of 9 and 10. Then the Ravenel curve of 11. The Bilston curve of 12. The Advent curve of 13. The Vidal curve of 14, the Vidal chicane of 14 and 15, and then the Hyundai curve of 16, apparently, according to iRacing's track map.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Yeah, they've been changed over I guess, over some of the years. Ooh, who's that?
Nathan Graham.
Nathan, and just a little bit of an off-track excursion. Yeah, they've been changed over years. I think Michelin Curve used to be one of them, so I guess it's, sponsors. So
Yeah, exactly. You know what it's like when people get bored and money talks, and next thing you know, it's all changed. So there we go. It's going to be an interesting one, I think. This 3-lap sprint is going to be very fast-paced. It's going to be interesting to see how the drivers cope with that, I think, on this one, Biggles.
Yeah, you want to give us a hot lap around here?
Do I want to?
Yes.
Okay.
You have
Pick
to.
up Elliot Borg.
You're a driver, James, all right? I sit up in the booth and just watch everybody do it. I unfortunately don't know this track as much as I know, like, Singapore or Australia or stuff like that, which aren't even in, fortunately, the sim.
Yeah, we're coming around the AMG Arena now. Turn 2. Dropping down into 3. The long looping left-hander. You've got to wait a while to get the gas on there. And then we come into 4. And now we've got this run down through 5, which is this little kink about now. And then 6 is at the base here. This fast left-hander before we go round 7. And then we've got the run round the corner, around the left-hander, down into the Goodyear curve, which as you can see is this 90-degree hairpin at the base of the circuit. And then up the hill we go through the Schumacher S's, where we're going to jump left here, hugging the curb on the inside. Then we're going to go right, cutting the curb as much as we can on the right without getting off track. And then we're coming in to turn 11, left-hander, turn 12, round to the right we go. You can see we're still in 5th gear there on the right-hand side from, you can see the gearing of Elliot Borg as we go up into this run around 12 and 13 and into the Vidal chicane. Ooh, nearly 40. Oh!
It has thrown him off the traffic there. Just caught him out, because he hit the loud pedal and the car just went, whoopsie.
Yeah.
That was out of the chicane, wasn't it? The NJK chicane.
Yeah. So we're at the same point with Tamas Boniati at the moment. He's not managed to spin it up, but he is going into the pit, so that's unfortunate.
Flat spot at the tyres.
Yeah. I think Jay's on an outlap, so nothing going to be doing there. But you can see it's quite a tricky track, this one, isn't it? It's not flowing as such, but it's got everything you need within a race circuit.
Yeah, it's got overtaken opportunities, which is what you want to see. You don't want to see, some of those tracks, unfortunately, where it's just limited and you're overtaking and then you just follow the leader, essentially.
Yeah.
But right there, overtaking opportunities, possibly. So as you said, through the middle section as well, too, where the stadium is, or is that one of the sponsors, AMG?
Yeah, AMG Arena. No, I'm not quite sure why
you
they
can be
call it
bold and
arena.
brave there. You'll probably see maybe a couple of side-by-side runs. That'd be interesting.
I think the interesting thing will be that run down into turn one. I think that's going to be everybody's going to be coming to it, because they've literally got to go hurtling down, and then they've got to hit the brakes and go right because of obviously the turn one, the way that turn one goes. So from that point of view, they want to really try and make it through there cleanly without having any problems to be able to enjoy the rest of the lap around this incredible circuit.
Well, the DRS too, remember, James? So you got about 17 kilometers an hour extra speed down the main straightaway. I believe that's where the DRS zone is.
Yeah, I think it's there and on this back run up into through.
The back run.
Yeah. So I think
you got to make that car stick, man. When you're overspeeding, that's going to be the thing. Trust in your brakes. There's a DRS activation there.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody using it, but so maybe there's only a couple of them. That'll be interesting. So, yeah, I did not see that letterbox open then.
No, he didn't activate it on his steering wheel either. He still had the two lights that told him he had it, but didn't actually activate it there either. So unfortunately there, Tamas Boniati, and then there's got the start-finish straight, of course, where we are open, wide open. So, and see how we get on. Dan's in YouTube. Well, you will after today. Not sure what he means by that, but there we go. That's of course.
Talking about the qualifying, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Not allowed to run qualifying.
No, he's not.
That was the chat that we were having with Dan, a red coat out there. The damn red coat. G'day, mate.
G'day, mate. There you go.
G'day, mate.
That's
Yep.
my
Those
best
damn
Australian
red coats.
impression.
We know about them. I'm stuck with one in the booth at the moment.
Oi. A little red coat. How rude. See,
You
that's
wear
the
a red
thing.
coat?
You know, we named the red coats because they work at a place. And we got this holiday parks over here called Butlins, and they are called red coats because they're the entertainment staff at Butlins, and they all wear red coats.
I thought it was because it's to wear the red coats and the British Army.
Well, that's probably got something to do with it as well, but let's look on the higher side and just take it as the fact that it's due to a holiday park in the UK that's used red coats for their entertainment staff, I guess. So there we go.
That's up to the darn red coat out there to tell us.
Yeah, of course.
Nathan's on an outlap. The part-time pros clutches of well racing there. Mr. J Smart on top and still on form, no doubt, leading the championship and looking to secure a few more points here. Getting a little bit closer and closer and engraving his first couple of initials on that championship trophy for now.
He's very close. He's got almost a finger on it currently at the moment. So let's see how this one pans out, I think, just to see how he gets on. We've got about a minute and a half left of quali before we go into the three-lap sprint. Ryan O'Connor with his DRS wide open there as well, controlling that right-hander with the DRS open, which is always tricky at the best of times. Taking any corner with DRS wide open is always tricky. Just ask down into turn one at Suzuka. That's seen a lot of incidents because of the DRS. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they cope with that. But, yeah, it should be an interesting one.
Degner's as well, too, and Suzuka's always a great one.
Oh,
hits a bit of the gravel there as he's braking heavy. Pulls off, actually, at this one. I like that wasn't quite the quick enough time that he wanted to set. That'll be the last time set a time, too.
Yeah, they're all slowly coming to the end of their qualifying runs. Got about 40 seconds left. Lindsay Green should just about cross over the line. This is coming up through the Schumacher S's. Of course, the left and the right. And then we go left again for turn 11.
I guarantee you're going to be 50-50. You're going to go left or right.
Pretty much.
If you're going up, then you're in trouble.
Yeah. Or if you see lots of grass and gravel, then you
You've
definitely
gone
know
upside down
yeah.
as well. Exactly.
I'm a Brit that moved to
don't
America.
do a Mark Webber in a supercar back in the day.
Yeah, straight
Or
over
actually,
there.
even a Formula One car too. Sorry, what were you saying?
The damn redcoat. I'm a Brit that moved to America, and so a damn redcoat. That's what he said. So the grid is up for the sprint race. Jay Smart is in first, Nathan Graham second, Matt Miller third, John Silver fourth, Elliot Borg fifth, Daniel Johnson sixth, Ryan O'Connor seventh, Thomas Boniadi eighth, Dylan Gonez ninth, Michael Kostick 10th, Tyler Gatke in 11th, Zachary Kokis is down in 12th place. Then beyond that, we've got Lindsay Green, Dan Peoples and Sean Atkins. So Dan, I believe, will start from the pits. So unfortunately for him, he will not get that run down into turn one. Just to make sure that he gets through all nice and clean, of course. And there is Jay Smart from the Clutches of Wales in their new livery. So Redcoat then, if you're from the UK, you must remember Butlins. Butlins is the holiday park where they have redcoats for their entertainment. So there we go.
Learn something new every day.
Well, you do. I fill you with knowledge more than you can even cope with in that Australian
Predictions from
brain.
Dan. I think if Dan sticks with the back there and just see if Carnage happens up the road, may be able to score a few places here. We'll see. It's up to whether or not Nathan is going to try to challenge Jay Smart into turn one here. It's crucial, isn't it, James? Because of the fact that there's only 3 laps in the sprint.
Yeah.
You're not going to get DRS, or maybe in the last lap. Anyway.
I do remember Butlins, though. I never went, says the redcoat. Oh, never mind. I've been there. It's quite nice, actually. Right. Got to wait for the 2 minutes to run out, because obviously Dan is in the pit, so the top clock will tick down. The 1:45, 15 seconds remaining before we get lights out.
Yeah, Mr. Redcoat, any predictions of who do you think will be leading the race into turn one?
Depends how Jay Smart gets off the line, bro.
4 seconds to
Racer
enter
Murray,
that one.
hello everyone.
Yeah.
Hello, bud.
Oh.
Right, here we go. Lights are going to be on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the lights are out, and away we go. And it is Jay Smart. Nathan Graham's hustling on the inside. Smart did not get that inside line covered off. He's not going to get the run down into turn one. Nathan Graham's going to come back on the inside. It's going to be Graham and Smart all the way around the AMG arena, side by side currently at the moment. Can they maintain this, or is this just going to go wrong? I think Nathan Graham's got the inside line for 4, as he's now running off, down for 5. Here at the Nürburgring, everybody made it through relatively cleanly at the moment. Ryan O'Connor has been off track. Judging by Jay Smart's line, we are still joined side by side by Nathan Graham for half a lap here, and currently Jay Smart is out in front in first place. Nathan Graham second, Matt Miller in third. Not too bad of a start currently at the moment.
He had to cover him off, of course, in that great wheel-to-wheel racing. And when Elliot Borg is an off-track moment, I did see at the very back at the start of the race, there was a car that bogged down and somebody, I think, slammed into the back of them. None of those waving your hands in there with the flag operators on the side, of course, there to try to allow everybody to stop the start of the race because of a stalled car. But that what looked like happened. And yeah, Jay Smart had to do everything in his power to hold off Nathan. Really, tooth and nail on that one. Nathan went for the opportunity. Tried his absolute best, and at the moment couldn't get it done, but settles in for P2. And at the moment, he's going to sit back and follow Jay and see and maybe pray if Jay can make a mistake or not. Here we go. We've only got a lap to go now, James.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to make a mistake over 3 laps, mate. I've got to be honest. He seems fairly comfortable, confident in these cars. That's the thing with Jay Smart. I think he just seems settled in the W12. It's going to be interesting when we go to the W13 what actually happens. Ryan O'Connor has been off track as well. Daniel B. Johnson also looked like he has had an incident and unfortunately has had a crash currently at the moment. So Connor and Johnson, both of them are out of this race. O'Connor is in the pits, Johnson still running, but he has been off track. So that's one to look out for there for car number 14. As you can see, is at the back of the field currently at the moment. But Jay Smart's leading the way. It's going to be so difficult for Nathan Graham to try and get Smart, because the way the corners move, Smart's going to have the inside line, as we saw earlier on, running side by side out of that first corner.
Well, the dress rehearsal's over, the main show will be on too. Of course, they'll get points for the sprint race, but he's going to have a second opportunity, pending he still manages to finish in that P2 position, hold off Mac Miller, who's applying a bit of pressure right now, but I think it might not be enough time. He's going to have another opportunity, James, to think about, all right, so this is what happened in the sprint race. When we get it, when the second start, he might try something different. I'm not quite sure. See how it pans out. Obviously, it's depending on how Jay's going to engage that clutch as well. There's maybe a run in the background, as I said. Nathan is under a bit of pressure there from Mac Miller, but is, once again, there enough time?
Maybe, possibly not. I don't think so. He's coming round turn 3 out of 4. Before we go round 5, Smart's taking a very, very wide line there. Very, very wide as he's coming into 6. John Silver settling down in 4th place currently at the moment. No real need for him to push any further. He's going to try and get some points where he can. Obviously, he's going to want to have that 3rd position away from Matt Miller, but I just don't think he's going to be close enough going into the final half of this lap here, coming to the end of the sprint race. And I think it is going to be Smart going up through the Schumacher S's. Round Ravenel now, turn 11, left-hander. And Smart looks, surely he's got this wrapped up, hasn't he, Biggles? You would have thought?
Yeah. He's already called Santa Claus and says, thank you very much, I'll have my Christmas present now. Okay, race win. Dan actually went off track, because I thought Dan was actually okay. He said, like, even starting at the back there, just mopping up a couple of places from other people's misfortunes, but Dan himself made a bit of a misfortune.
Yeah.
This Cocos and Green might have had a little bit of a switcheroo there.
Yeah,
as we go back to, but you're going to see Jay Smart cross the line first, James.
Yeah, comes across the line. He takes the sprint race victory. Nathan Graham in 2nd, Miller in 3rd. So it was Smart, then Graham, and then Miller finishing off your top 3. So let's see if we can catch up and see what happened to Dan Peebles there and see.
Yeah, and also,
no,
well, we won't get enough time,
Changes
unfortunately,
over.
because we'll switch it over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Changes over, so we are going into a brief 5-minute warm-up now, and Jay Smart did take the victory with Nathan Graham, and then Matt Miller in 3rd place. So it's going to be interesting to see what Smart can do on that one. It was always going to be there, wasn't it, really? Let's see if we can have a quick word with Jay Smart up in the booth. Jay, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Well, not a bad start to your evening, sir, taking the sprint race.
Yeah, it was a good race, too, with Nathan. I always enjoy racing with him, honestly. I think we give each other a lot of space. There's a bit of a tap, which I'm rewatching now. I'm curious to see what happened there. But, yeah, good result, and I think a good sign for the race. But, as always, got to keep it clean. So.
Are you going to try and get off the line, though, Jay? Because once Graham was up beside you, it was very difficult to try and get that 1st place back, wasn't it?
It wasn't too bad. I kind of the sequence of corners in the beginning of the race are so left and right that the outside position in turn 1 is actually pretty strong, going all the way to turn 5 or 6 or something.
Yeah.
I wasn't too worried, and as always, I have a history of wrecking sprint races and stuff off the start, so I just want to keep it clean. But yeah, we'll have to see. Nathan, because he's part-time, is kind of lower in the championship, so he's not really my main competition this race, so I'm not going to really risk anything trying to battle him too hard.
All right, Jay, well, good luck in the feature race, bud. And I shall pop you back down there with Zach, and I'll catch up with you soon.
All right, thank you, sir.
Well, there you go. That was Jay Smart from the Clutches to Wales, your winner in the sprint race. Smart looks fast, he definitely does. And he's going to lay down a statement there with that sprint race victory before we go into the 33-lap feature here tonight.
Well, what's interesting too, James, is that I'm getting the current tyre information up on the screen there. So it looks like Jay has elected to start on the medium tyres, as well as Dan and as well as Nathan. The rest of the field I'm showing on soft, so that's going to be very, very interesting. I guess he's probably lucky, I'd have to say, that Nathan did start on those mediums. Otherwise, there could have been an opportunity for Nathan to possibly get J Smart off the start with the extra grip on those tires. But that'll be the front row locked out. Although I am seeing something else now, changing tires, so maybe Tyler.
Tyler Gatke's just changed over as well.
Yeah, so once again, everybody is aware at the moment. If you're in this, is just like for real Formula One, you have to change to another tyre compound. And you got the softs, mediums, and hards. You never get wet weather tyres in iRacing just yet. So that's the election. I imagine it would be softs and mediums. Yeah, unless somebody has a moment early in the race. So we've seen that before, haven't we? And then they could switch straight over to those hards and take them to the end.
Yeah, I think it will only be if anybody has any major issues at the beginning. I think that's going to be where they're going to put the hards on. But I'll be surprised if they don't go medium softs or even start on the softs, take them for about 10, 11 laps and then come in and put the mediums on and finish them off. So it'll be an interesting one. I think it's going to be whoever comes on the right pit strategy is, we'll obviously, like anything, nail the win, but just have to see how these guys go, to be fair. They're all very fast. We've seen that over the whole season, to be fair, haven't we? None of them are really slouches on what they're doing.
Absolutely not. These are some of the best in the world. And this is not an easy car to drive in iRacing, that's absolutely for sure. I know, I'm for sure everybody aware out there that has tried to drive these cars yourself, or even as I am, have multiple friends around the world that use and play iRacing and enjoy iRacing, and a lot of them struggle. When I said Biggles, like, I can drive a lot of different cars, GT3s and hypercars and LMP2s and stuff like that, but those F1 W12s, they are difficult beasts. So you got to give it all massive credit here to everybody at Lightspeed Racing League for taking the challenge, of course, bringing it to these cars.
Yeah, definitely as well. It's going to be interesting to see how they get on next year if they change over to the W13, of course. So that'll be an interesting one, and see what we can do with that new one there and the new change. Whether or not we're going to get an upgraded car, who knows? I think whether or not they're going to get the W4. And to be honest, I can't really... Ooh, massive snap from Nathan Graham. I can't really see the difference between the cars currently at the moment. I think it would just be a complete... Well, putting it politely, a cash grab if they brought the 14 out, because there's not a lot of difference between that and the 13.
They might just do it for the fact of just having another number. Yeah, not a lot of changes to it, of course.
Exactly.
That means they obviously don't have to do a lot of development. But good to see, of course, as some of the news out coming in June, I think it was. We got another hypercar.
Yeah, I saw that earlier on. Yeah, LMP3 apparently. So let's get the grid done for this one. J Smart in first, Nathan Graham second, Matt Miller third, John Silver fourth, Dylan Gonaz fifth, Tamas Boniadi sixth, Tyler Gatke seventh, Michael Kostick eighth, Sean Atkins ninth, Zachary Kokias 10th, Lindsay Green 11th, and Elliot Borg down in 12th place. Dan Peoples 13th, Daniel Johnson 14th, and Ryan O'Connor will be in the final points. Final position. I don't think it's regarding the points. You get points all the way down to 21st, and currently Ryan O'Connor is down in 15th, so he will score 1 point this evening there as well. I'm sure he's going to aim for more as J Smart is on to the grid. Just wait for Michael Kostick and see whether or not Dan is coming out for this one, or if he's got to go from the pits again.
That's true. I think he might be on the grid for this one. Maybe. But anyway, keep an eye out for Mac Miller and the Burnt Rubber Racing. So he's on the second row. That's a 79 machine. He's on the softs, and he's surrounded by medium armor. Over to you, James.
Here we go. The lights are on. There's out and away we go. J Smart got the jump this time on Nathan Graham. Defends that inside line. He heads straight across the circuit and gets the job done. It takes the lead straight off the bat for turn one. There was a little bit of a bottleneck going back further on. Zachary Kokis as well, with Tyler Gatke in front of him. Sean Atkins behind him currently. Oh, and they've got a victorious sequence. Tamas Boniati has gotten off circuit, spun the car, and unfortunately for Tamas is now down at the order in 13th place. Boniati, not a good start there. Tyler Gatke also off as well. Unfortunately for them, not a great start for Tamas Boniati and Tyler Gatke, but it does allow Dan Peoples to move up one more place into 14th, chasing down Michael Kostick in 13th place there. Not a bad start overall. Smart did what he had to do, didn't he? He needed to come across and defend that inside line, and he did it beautifully off the line.
He did have to defend against a very fast looked like Mac Miller was even thinking about the opportunity on Nathan there. Could have got a 2-for-1 special on those tyres, but didn't quite pay off. But yeah, Jay Smart started to pull a little bit of a gap. A bit of exchangeroo, of course, positions a little bit further back. But yeah, so far, turn one was obviously everybody got through there safely. Just a little bit of shenanigans later on, wasn't it? After that, that involved 3 cars, really. Thomas, Zachary, and Tyler, I think, had some sort of incidents. But so far, everybody else pointing in the right direction. And we'll be starting lap 2 soon. Right now, Jay will be about to see Barney for another lap.
Yeah, come round, said hello, and off he goes again. So Jay Smart out in front currently at this moment in time with Matt Miller pushing it up behind Nathan Graham. It's going to be interesting to see here. There is the yellow of part-time pros Graham's car as they go around the AMG. Turn 2, 3 and the right-hander of 4. Of course, before they go on this run down into turn 5. As an option, Biggles, as an option, would you not fight and try and catch Smart up currently?
The DRS is crucial. Yeah, they got at the moment. Nathan's got to be thinking about getting in that DRS range because you don't want to let Jay Smart get up the road too far. To be very, very difficult to catch him. So, I wouldn't be worried about Mac Miller behind. Mac Miller's got to fight Graham, of course, and make advantage of those soft tyres as much as possible as he can because he's got Dylan on the soft tyres down the road, but Dylan's out of that DRS, so he's just trying to keep Dylan out of that crucial zone. For now, is that what's happening here? This is Zachary coming back at this one, or has he got damage? What's happening to Zachary there?
I'm not entirely sure on that one. Peoples has just made the move past Kostic. I think he's going to allow Kostic to come back through. No. Peoples does take the position, and that is down in currently in 13th place. John Silver.
Somebody's off in the background. That's Mac Miller.
Yeah, Miller's off in the chicane. Miller
now that's going to be under a bit of pressure, won't he? Now behind, so I kind of the DRS is not going to be activated just yet. That's when Ryan O'Connor would really like that DRS because he probably could have got him down into the AMG section. For now, that's turn 1 actually. Sorry, and then there it is, James. One little mistake like that, Mac Miller down P7 now.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? With the field so closely as they are still currently at the moment, one little mistake and you've got to sit there for ages. It's not like you can just spin the car back round, get it back on track because you've got cars 2-3 seconds that aren't going to take long to get to you while you're trying to 360 that car around and get it back on track. And Miller found out there and has dropped all the way down into, he's just past Sean Atkins. So he's down in 6th place currently at this moment in time as well. People's having a battle here with Zachary Kokis. Here is he going to go? He's going to try and run up the inside and takes the inside line away from Kokis as well. That's People's up 1, currently in 12th. He's up past Ryan O'Connor. I wonder if O'Connor's just had a slowdown there, unfortunately, and that's why he's chopped down as well. So People's flying along in his yellow and green. Can't really miss him. He is there on track. In the Brazil colours, or John Deere, or Australian, or whatever other colours you want to put him in there. Dan Peoples is in them. So it's interesting in that Ryan O'Connor and Michael Kostic both got DRS then.
Yeah, and they were both going slow too. So what if they both got slowdowns? Because that's straight off into the grass. Another victim too there. That's Michael Kostic. Not having the best of days at the moment. But once again, still got time on your side.
Yep, turn 14.
Another thing, James, that Nathan's now, Jay's got that 1.2 second gap, so he's broken that DRS, which will be coming into play now. So that's all he needed to do to get it done. Nathan needs to put some bankers in right now to try and reach within that.
Yeah, Miller's here, currently down in 6th, chasing down Elliot Borg. Borg hasn't been as quick as we expect. I think that's one of the things we can take out today, is Elliot Borg has not been as quick as he normally can be, and I'm not sure if that's due to lack of practice or he's not loving the track in general, but most are on the mediums. Miller, Atkins and Gonaz are out on the softs, so we're going to have a little bit of a switcheroo of positions here, I think.
Well, remember Elliot Borg was involved in a tangle the last race as Dylan Gonaz goes up into P3 actually. John has to be battling it out with the Colombian that's back just up the road. You'll see that, James. That's the battle for P3. You should almost be side by side here. Maybe, yep. And Dylan Gonaz is behind. So Dylan got past there, and then they've switched it back around again. Mac Miller's overtaken Elliot Borg there.
Borg's
behind as well.
Do you see Borg off on the side?
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, I thought. But Elliot Borg, I mean, got to remember, he gained 7 positions before that. So that first sprint race wasn't very good after an early incident, but he was making it back up here. 7 positions gained, now 5, unfortunately, going off the track. But hey, well, we keep an eye on his pace. He's on the mediums, James. I wouldn't write him off just yet.
I'm not going to write. I think we're very early to be writing anyone off. I think that's the problem is it's not about writing them off. It's just about the fact that turn 14 and 15 has claimed Miller, Kostick and Borg so far. So they're going to have to be a little bit careful going up through there. If you get on the gas too early, you're obviously your back wheels are going to spin, and that's the end of it there. So there we go. Great job by the cameraman there. He's fixed a little wing out of the rear wing of the W12s, and we are just.
It was that GoPro. Remember, James, that we installed there last time.
Yeah, we talked about it, didn't we, last week? But with a GoPro installed out just over the wheels here. So this is what we're looking at currently at this moment in time. So a great job there from the cameraman. Thank you so much for that one. Peoples is in a battle with Lindsay Green. Can't really miss Peoples' car.
It's green and gold, mate. It's green and gold. It's Australian as you could possibly get, even though Dan's not. He's making the opportunity. He's got to make it stick around here. He's going to tuck in behind, but he was letting him know, hello, I'm here, I'm in town. I'm called the Flying Dutchman for a reason. He's going to get the DRS here, but it just runs out almost before you know it. Almost locks up, and he did that. See the rear end. He did snap the brake a little bit because he did not want to be, in his debut race here, spoiling the party of some of these other drivers. But he's feisty. He's a feisty little Dutchman.
Yeah, he's moving up quite nicely. He's up 2. Technically, he's up 4, considering of where obviously starting from the pits. He's got DRS here currently at the moment, but Lindsay Green's not allowing him room to take that inside line. Green went down the inside and said thank you very much. Peoples is going to try and cut the back. He's not going to make it as he's off round turn 3. Gatke's in the pits. Yep, he's going to lose another position.
Dan's going to lose his place. Yeah. Oh, lock up actually from the other driver up that just took his position there with Zachary.
So poor Tyler Gatke has entered into the pits. The first of
another
the pit
important
stops.
thing, James, that Nathan's now managed to get it down to about 7/10 on Jay Smart, which is exactly what he had. I said he had to get his head down there and make sure that Jay Smart didn't break that DRS too long. Now he's in the DRS range. He should be able to climb that a little bit closer to possibly have an overtaking opportunity, as you mentioned about those pit stops. You look at that, P5, P6, and P4, 5, and 6 are all in soft tyres. The rest of the medium runners, and Taylor, as you said, switched on to the hard tyres to go to the end of the race. 6 of 32 are on at the moment.
Yeah, we've got Jay Smart, Nathan Graham. Nathan Graham is getting DRS. I'm surprised he's not tucked up right behind Jay Smart as best he can there. Follow him across track. That's what I would have done.
Ooh. Oh, the late dive there, was it? You got it under about 4/10 there. Well, it's also depending on that ERS, the energy that they're burning too. Jay could have burnt quite a bit there to try to cover off that. We don't know. That's what the drivers do know.
So let's see how we get on. 7 laps down currently at this moment in time. And we've got precisely... quick maths, James. 3, I can't get there because 23, 26
27.
laps. 27 laps, 23 laps remain. Ryan O'Connor, Dan Peoples and Zachary Kokis here having a battle. Peoples does make that move past Kokis again. So let's see how he gets on now with the ever-flying Ryan O'Connor. Of course, Connor from Shyline Racing. So started down the back end of the field for the sprint race. Has been off track here as well. So we can have a quick look and see where he's been off and what he's been up to.
Well, keep an eye. Yeah, I was going to say in a second, because I think
too many beans. Okay. Yep. Too many beans. Too many beans.
Keep an eye on Jay Smart and Nathan. They're going to balls be side by side right now, James. They are. Now, Nathan's going to be the ones around the outside. We saw this before, didn't we? It is not a carbon copy of the sprint race, although it looks pretty similar. But now on a feature race, they're on the medium tyres instead of the softs, and they're at it too for now. And did Nathan get it and hold it off? He did, I think.
Yeah.
He absolutely did. Now, Jay Smart's going to have that DRS. What's he going to do to come back?
Well, the thing is, it's like Jay just said in his interview, Nathan Graham is not his championship fight. Do you know what I mean? It is not his championship fight. From his point of view, there's no point really trying to battle Graham as hard as he possibly could anyone else who's around him in the championship currently at this moment in time, because obviously you know, he's just not doing that. There's no point for him to battle this individual because he's just not in his championship contention. I don't think from Smart's point of view, yeah, a win is a win and you'd love to take a win and everything else, but with the fact that, you know, nobody is within his, you know, it's Elliot Borg or John Silver, they're the next two. Borg's having a bit of an up and down, he's in 7th, Silver's in 3rd, so it's really Silver that
It's
kind
Silver,
of is
isn't it?
fighting. Yeah, he's not fighting Graham, he can allow Graham to go and take the win or take the
I think
position away without doing much about
that's
it.
going to be the key, isn't it? Yeah, Jay's going to be monitoring that lap time there too, to John Silver. And the thing is, John Silver's in the 27s, Jay Smart's in the 26s, so I think he should be okay. Jay Smart's actually even quicker right now than Nathan, tucked up in that DRS, and he might be happy once again to stay here as long as he's building that gap there to Silver. I think he called that one perfect, but Silver's under pressure there from Gomez now, so Silver's going to be making sure he does something here so soon, James, but for sure. I think Gomez is going to maybe get him, and he will.
Yeah. Gomez on the soft tyres there. You can see that he's going to be trying to make this work straight away. If he can, he's got to try and get away from Silver now. And see how far he can get up the road. That's going to be the difficult thing, isn't it? You're trying to get away from somebody you've overtaken. You've got to try and break the DRS. You're not going to do it within a lap. You've got to look at a couple of laps. If he's not going to do it in a couple of laps, he's got to try and do it in 3 laps, because after that, you're going to have John Silver tucked up right behind you, trying to overtake you again with the DRS.
That's the power of the drag reduction system, of course. Excellent. But then the other little power system is said that we've mentioned that we don't see is the ERS. So had they been charging up their battery in the last, you know, so many laps there to either defend or apply that energy kilowatt system, the hybrid cars, to try to give you a little bit more on the loud pedal.
Yeah, Miller's trying to come through at the back there. You can see Miller in the background. Graham's down to about 4 tenths currently at the moment, with Smart right in behind him. So Jay Smart doing the biz and trying to stay with Nathan Graham as best he possibly can there, as he's got his 44 Lewis Hamilton helmet on.
You can't miss that, except Lewis's Hamilton was usually a Brazilian-esque helmet back in the day, of course. Remember, one of his favourite fans was Ayrton Senna. Who wouldn't be a fan of Ayrton Senna, really? One of the best drivers of all time.
Yeah.
But that's in the real world. We're in the virtual world. And if you want to see one of the best drivers of all time in the real world, right, virtual world, Jay Smart is one of them.
Yep.
And that clever racing, you'd have to say there from Jay Smart on that one. I think strategy, as you said. Mentioned it, he's not in a fight right now. He's happy to sit in this DRS though. He's pulling laps quicker than his closest rival, which is Jonas Silva. So it's all panning out for him.
Yeah, there's no need. I think from Smart's point of view, there's just no need for him to battle with Graham. If you can get him cleanly, great. If he can't, I don't think he's going to be overly worried about it. He's got to watch that 14 and 15 chicane. We've seen he's claimed 3 people already this evening, so he's going to have to be careful, but he's also just got to try and stay with him. 3 lights on the dashboard, 3 green lights on the left-hand side means his DRS is activated. 2 is when they go through the zone and they get given the DRS. 3 when they can actually activate it. So let's see how.
But you can't see their ERS, can you? I don't imagine they would allow that to be showed.
No,
I know when I was
right
casting
inside.
the Formula One game, we could show it, but I would not as a broadcaster, because everybody else, the engineers are listening out there, and they would tell the other drivers, hey, he's deploying his energy. No, none of that shenanigans here in iRacing.
Ooh, John Silver got a bit of a spin up there. Keep an eye on that one. So unfortunately, Zachary Kokis has gone off track. So let's see where he went about his business and see which part of the circuit it was. Ooh.
Turn 1, looks like outbreaks himself. It must be on the loud pedal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But out of the fence, hopefully. Yeah.
Yeah. It's poor old Zachary there.
Yeah, the only problem, of course, if you lose a little bit of that end plate. Well, that's the thing that, remember those end plates, the crucial thing that they do, of course, is that they push the air away from the tyre. so that the air's not directly forced into the tyre and causing drag. So since you don't have one of them, all of a sudden you got all that air. Wow, twirly coming out of the corner. Dylan holding on to it. Very holding on to it. They're almost snapping the wall there, at least scrubbing some paint off those tyres into that wall. Now he's going to have to find a place to defend, and he's elected to go on the inside. So he's going to have to brake a lot earlier, which he did.
Yeah, Dylan Gona still makes it through there. Smart is still within about 4 tenths, of course. Peebles is down in, currently sitting down in 11th.
And that fight's actually bringing Mac Miller into play. Look at this now as well. Well, it's in the other pitch, but Mac Miller on the soft tyres. But here's the battle course. Dan is getting a bit of the highlight reels so far. Almost lost one of those end plates I was talking about earlier, James.
Yeah, there is down. You can see him on the right-hand side of your screen, concentrating very, very hard here. Obviously new into the series this evening. So be interested to see if he's going to complete the rest of the season, because we've 4 or 5 laps remaining. Coke is sound by the sounds of it. I think that was actually Miller has gone off again. Matt Miller has gone off again. There he is.
Oh, and he was right up, tucked up in the gearbox of that battle as well.
Yep. And now he's going back down the order again. It's like he's got to do it all again. And it was coming out of the centre S's. I believe he had that incident. And I think this is what it was.
Yeah, yeah. That's an interesting place to kind of lose it. He lost it just before then, no doubt. Just wonder if it just... It is very interesting, because you're really just committed through the speed there. It's not a high, not a heavy braking zone or anything. Mac Miller goes in.
I think he's going to get rid of that.
But yeah, I was just wondering if there was why you would have spun there specifically.
Well, the thing is, he's no slouch in the car, is Miller, right? And if he's gone into the pits and decided that he's going to change tyres, then clearly the softs have started going off after about lap 13, which is what we said about. Take the softs for 13 and then go on to the mediums for 20, right? Which is what, by the looks of it, he's likely to be doing. He's stopped now at the pits. He's gone to the mediums, and he's going to run the mediums for the next 20 laps, which is the way that pretty much the softs will start coming in very, very shortly. The likes of Gonaz, the likes of Atkins, is whether or not now the medium runners are going to take their tyres for 20 laps and go 13 on the end of softs, because they've clearly seen that Miller has blinked first. He's made that move first, so therefore they've got the data coming in that, okay, so he's only got 13 here. We've got to be looking at least going 20 on his mediums. As you can see here with Jay Smart.
Definitely outbraked himself a little bit there. Had to back off.
Yeah. And what number was it? Turn 14 and 15.
Yeah, that's been the hot zone once again. Pull out that fold out chair, James. Grab an Eskia and a cooler. Sit there and have a couple of brewskis and watch the race. That'd be the place.
Ryan O'Connor's jumped to the pits. What has he been up to?
Contact.
O'Connor has had rotten luck this evening. We go back to
one of those tracks.
Pitches.
The other soft one I went in, so Dylan went in. Dylan Gunners, he realised they'd get rid of those soft tyres. That might be, yeah. Well, Sean stays out for another lap. We'll see. Yeah, that's definitely going to be giving you a bit of a call here at the moment. Your team, your engineer would be on the radio telling you, all right, guys, so they're falling off the cliff a little bit, and maximum risk and maximum reward, of course, because you're in the fence if you make too many mistakes. So clearly at the moment what's been at least this track is fence isn't as close as what you think it is, so there's quite a nice little runoff area.
Yeah, they've still got to try and keep it off the grass though, because as we know with iRacing's grass, it's like physical ice. It's not really, well, it has zero grip.
Not designed for Michelin tyres, is it?
It was not designed.
Pirelli tyres. Sorry.
It could be rain tyres, and I can guarantee it's probably not going to stop it. It could be they could have tractor tyres on, and they would still go plummeting off into the side of the barrier. It's not really designed for any form of tyres here. This is your battle down in 10th and 11th. Lindsay Green and Michael Kostick currently at the moment. Peebles is in front of us in 9th. So Dan moving through the order currently at this moment in time as well. So let's see how we get on as we're into the last 18 laps now. Kostick's got the DRS wide open. The Green's going to hug the inside. They're coming into the dreaded turn. Are they going to make it through? They are. No, they're not.
Oh, James, that was on you.
Oh. Can't blame me
Again,
for that one.
another casting curse claims a victim.
No, can't blame me.
Anyway, you were talking about the dreaded, will they make it through the dreaded? Yes, no, it didn't. One did, one didn't.
Yeah. But that corner, it's just a left and right. But it seems like people are so getting it wrong. Commentators curse. Yeah, all right, Dan Redcoat. Thank you very much for that. Just jumped up straight away in YouTube chat. Commentators curse. Yes. We know.
Have you tried it, James?
What?
It's probably looking easy up here in an air-conditioned casting box. I'm down there sweating it out in a car. I mean, going through that turn.
Yeah, well,
It's got to be very tricky. It's probably bumpy too. Look, you can see it lifts the car off there, and the rear just slips and slides because you need 4 wheels planted on the racetrack. 2 of them aren't going to help too much.
Yeah, I ran it earlier, mate. I was doing 124s.
Okay, so yeah, yeah, right. I was going to say.
I was going to say, I'm sitting there going, come on, work it out. That's like
Yeah.
3 seconds quicker than these guys. No, I wasn't doing 124s. I haven't taken it out on track, unfortunately. Do you know, the thing is, I haven't actually driven the car since I bought the car.
Well, I've never driven any cars I've ever purchased, but yeah, you do drive. Well, I understand
Yeah.
that. Well, get your money's worth, my friend, you know?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's about a 20 million pound car, so you do want to take it out on the track every once in a while.
Yeah, maybe I'll give it a spin. I'll have to put the racing line on, though, because otherwise I won't know where to brake.
Yeah, oh, you can put the racing line on iRacing? I didn't think you can.
Yeah, there's a racing line.
Yeah,
The
fair
problem
enough.
with the racing line, it's not a progressive racing line, so as you get quicker, the racing line doesn't extend. But it stays where it is generally anyway, so you know, if you can hit the points of source, that is what they say is your optimal lap time, so who knows. But yeah, I'd probably have to do that if I was going to get the car out on track currently at the moment, because I would
Cheat
definitely
codes.
mate, I definitely wouldn't be good enough. It'd be horrendous. It really would.
I think the racing line's just good for practicing to get to know the track, and after that, turn it off because you know the track yourself. Like where you got the braking markers there, your key, aren't they? Look at those, and look where to brake, and then of course the racing line's just learning the track.
But then again, when you go around Nords, when it's 154 corners, 174.
Yeah, that's hard
with
to
this-
remember.
Yeah, you imagine remembering that. It's 174.
But I think you would never need a racing line in Monza, would you? Because you've got, 11 turns. That should be pretty easy to remember that one. You've been around that track a million times.
Oh, yeah. Do you know the fun thing was as well? I was around there the other day in the Clio, and they had combined with the Oval. Oh, my God. Mind you,
Really? The
yeah.
old banking oval?
Yeah, they had it was
Wow.
combined with that. They'd split the straight into 2. So you'd go round the oval first, back round, come round the oval again out at the top end, go down the left-hand side of the straight, then you would run, because there wouldn't be a chicane there, you would just run the car full flat, right the way up, all the way up to literally the Lesmos 1 and... Is it Lesmo 1 and 2?
The first turn?
No, the
not?
double right-hander.
Oh, yeah, yes, that's correct. That's Lisbon one.
Yeah, so you'd run the full from the beginning of the start
I see
finish
where
line, right the way down. You'd go round the first part, round obviously without the chicane, round the corner, right into the Lesmo.
Yeah, around Curva Grande. So yeah, okay, I get it. Yep, because the banking starts before the main pit straight, I think. But anyway, Nathan's going in and Jay Smart's going in. So that's your medium runners on that mandatory pit stop. Still have a few other drivers, I believe, taking a mandatory pit stop soon. Yes, the other 3 drivers behind them, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, did take a mandatory pit stop. Keep an eye for Daniel. Just slowly crept his way. Currently, at the moment, 10 positions gained for the 23 machine in P4. So Daniel B. Johnson doing a good job. Well, maybe because they got that little memo from the soft runners that it's getting a bit tricky.
Yeah, I
That's
suppose.
the track temperature. It looked like it might be getting a little bit warmer.
What do we start on? 85. It's gone down to 83, so it's dropped 2
it's dropped a little
degrees.
bit.
Yeah. So, but you know, coming into near enough 15 laps remaining, little bit early. I'm not going to lie. Graham's out in the softs. If we can only take the softs for 13 laps, it's going to be tough Smart is, well, his pit stop was absolute.
Yeah, but remember,
ages.
James, I've said you this before. You get a few more laps out of the soft tires when you're at the end of the race because you're running a lighter fuel load.
Jay Smart
So
is
the car's not as heavy.
This is also true. I do agree with you, and I'm also thinking that Jay Smart has also been issued a penalty in the pit box, and the reason for that is Nathan Graham's pit lane time was 25.68 seconds. Jay Smart's pit lane time 1 minute 7.45.
Is this off tracks, perhaps?
No,
Yeah,
I think it was
No?
as he went into the pits, he didn't hit that pit lane limiter, and unfortunately for him, he is now down.
Speeding in pit road.
He's speeding in pit road, yeah. So obviously this is Peoples here. Oh, I was going to say looking back at Caustic.
But then they boxed.
Yeah. So there we go. Dan Peoples is now up into 5th place. 5th place for Mr. Peoples. Obviously, he's got a pit yet as well. John Silver's still not pitted either. Neither has Thomas Boniadi. I would look at 20.
Yeah.
You got to look at trying to get 20 out of these tyres to make them softs really last. I know what you're saying about fuel, but I still think lap 20 and try and get a shorter run as possible.
Well, you're right. Exactly. You want the freshest boots in town. Are made for walking. Well, isn't Dan made for walking? That's a JPBroadcasting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a new broadcasting network. I need to sign up to that one, maybe there, James.
Well, Dan's philosophy, I spoke to him earlier actually. Dan's philosophy was behind that, was they've just started inventing AI commentators. And so Dan's philosophy was when AIs take over my job. So JP Broadcasting. So there we go. I don't know what he's quite expecting there, whether or not he thinks it's going to happen or not. I'm not entirely sure, unless he's predicting the future.
Let me just pull up chat GTP and then ask it there for some voice, so we can just type in, please cast this Light Speed Racing League Nurburgring.
Do you know the
round
weirdest
12,
thing?
and then it'll just start typing it all out. Go.
There is actually... Oh, Zachary Kokis is off again. Oh, Zach. And he's jumped to the pits as well. What have you been up to, sir? So he's out of turn 1. He's coming around 2 and 3.
As he hits the grass in the rear slips, yep.
Yeah. On them hard
Not
tyres.
much traction out there as well, too, especially the chicanes. They don't really have a lot of traction.
Yeah, what's he got left in the tank? Nothing. So Zachary Kokis in the pits, so we'll go back to
Jay Smart
Lopez.
just set the fastest lap now that he's 7 positions down on his original starting position after having to serve what we assume that would be a penalty. He's got clean air course and he's got some fresh boots on, and he's just going to get his head down. And I would not be surprised if he doesn't catch Mr. Johnson by the end of the race for sure. A 4.4 second gap there, and he should be shaving that time too for now. I can't get Mr. Johnson's time just yet because he just came out of the pit stop as well too. So we'll get a second there. McMillan's going.
Oh, he's out.
Ooh. That could be a crash there. It just says he went off track there, James. So what happened here? The heavy impact?
Oh, yes.
Yes. Ooh.
Miller. This track is blaming them all. Isn't it this evening?
Maybe we might have to get him to switch it over to that new Detroit track or street track or something, isn't it? It's just like a rectangle, isn't it? Go up one straightaway, down, turn right, go down another straightaway, almost like a drifting track. But
I'm not sure.
Thomas Bialy is into the pit road there from the Bull Racing team. You're waiting for that one, weren't you?
Yeah, I've been waiting for that one. I've got a funny feeling this young man has made a boo-boo. Would you like to know why?
Who, Dan?
Yeah.
I think he's made a few boo-boos, but what has he done with this one?
He has made a boo-boo of the fact that they have to change tyres, right? Dan started on the mediums. What is he still on now after his pit stop?
Oh, is this one of these? It is showing? Yeah, it's showing it on the timing table. Now, we assume and we presume that it's actually correct. It's the visual sometimes that's wrong.
Yeah, and
he could be right. He might have actually just switched to the... maybe he's going for a 3-stopper there, James.
Wow.
Nathan's crashed. Have a look at Nathan. What's going on here? Has Nathan gone off track somewhere there, James? Now, this is crucial, of course, because he was running second here.
I'm not quite sure.
looks like he's...
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what that's picked up there.
Could just
14
be
and
an off track.
15. Oh, no,
It
he
looks-
did go
yeah.
round.
He went around. I was going to say, that's those chicanes, isn't it? They're
Yeah.
nasty. You get the couple of wheels off there, and once again, I keep saying those little, those black rubber things that are connected to your car, there's 4 of them, they're kind of important. That's they're the most important thing in any car.
People,
Dan
he's stacked
has
it.
done it.
14 and 15.
Yeah, has he gone? Oh, he's gone pit road here. Oh, he's lost it in the pit road entrance?
Yes.
Yes, Dan!
Oh, down.
Oh, he still managed to get it around. Oh, that's crabbing now, isn't it?
Yeah, he's jumped to the pits. So Michael Kostic there as well. He's currently just down
Maybe if Dan's still going out or not. Yeah, well, you get some experience, Dan. That's what I would say.
Yeah,
It was a fast repair. We should have one fast repair, so I'm surprised if you're not using it.
Yeah, one fast repair. So if he hasn't used his fast repair, it's a shame he could have got that car a bit down. It probably would have saved him towing, to be fair. But I'd be surprised if he doesn't come back out on track. I'd be quite interested to see.
How much of the time would that cost you towing, considering you're about 100 meters away from the pit lane entrance anyway? Would they count having to go all the way around, or would they still count just that distance?
I don't think so. It very much varies from track to track. I can't sit here and give you a time because you go round in a whole Nordschleife and it can be at one part it can be 7 minutes, around the other side it can be 9 minutes. I just can't really answer that. And you know, I've done this circuit before, and I was taken out in the last corner when it was to combine with the Nords, and come out of the chicane. It goes right, and then it goes left, and then onto the start finishing straight here. And somebody took me out there. I had to jump to the pits, and it took me 9 minutes, and I was only going down the road.
Okay, so you're right at different places. Here's your classic overtaking at turn 1. If we can hold off. Wow, that's a very, very short braking entrance. You're going to scrub so much speed coming out of that one, but Michael does hold it off. Keep an eye on Jay Smart. I did say it would take him a little bit to catch the back there of Mr. Johnson, and he has done that right now, as you can see in DRS range. Well, that's because he's putting in 26s. The only man on the track putting 26s in, and Mr. Johnson up the road there's putting 27s in, like most of the other drivers actually on the track. So, yeah, only a matter of time. It's inevitable, isn't it? And you think how much of a fight Daniel's going to put up? Daniel still, remember there, James, he's gained 10 positions, so he's looking still good and could possibly still be looking for a podium position, but he's going to have to probably let Jay go through.
Yeah.
We'll just, take one away from a possibility of getting a podium. But, hey, got to be in it to win it. And considering the amount of mistakes some people have had through the James's casting corner.
Don't do that. Like, that's not my fault, is it? You know, we've only had
it's
1,
notorious,
2,
right?
3, 4, 5, 6 around turn 14 and 15. And we've had the likes of Kostic, Borg.
It's going to get him here, James. Look at this.
Yeah,
I don't think Dan is, clever enough to realize, this is not my fight right now. And in fact, he'd probably be even clever to do that because he can now get that nice toe behind Jay. And, he doesn't, I don't think, considering Jay's pace, you're going to have to worry too much about having to brake a little bit earlier or something like that because, Jay's not as quick as you. So this would be a fantastic little run. Like follow, whatever they call it. I don't know, just follow through there and keep the pace up. Also, what actually helps you too, James, doesn't it? If somebody is very, very quick and they're putting in some of the quickest laps, if you follow their racing line, you'd be surprised how quick your laps start becoming as well.
Well, the problem is for Daniel here is the fact that Jay's last lap was a 1:25.77. Daniel's was a 1:27.55. So they kind of swapped the numbers around there a bit, and about 2 seconds slower for Daniel Johnson. Now, obviously, from his point of
study
view,
now, isn't it? Like learn from a teacher. Like your teacher says, "This is how you do it," and you just copy that. I mean, but you can just see it's easier said than done on the screen, doesn't it? When we're looking at it, going, just do that. There's a reason why Jay Smart's leading the championship, and there's a reason why Jay Smart is one of the quickest drivers in the world in a W12.
Yeah, and also I have had confirmation Jay did get a penalty for speeding in the pits.
Oh. That's something that's very rare, isn't it, considering the consistency of Jay? But maybe do you think he's just a little bit more, you heard at the interview, relaxed, knowing that this is getting closer and closer to the championship, considering his main rivals are not as, well, he is kind of, you'd have to say, maybe, I might be wrong on that one. Maybe pushed a little bit too much. I don't know, because now you got to look at it as Silver's now P2.
Yeah.
But Elliot Borg and the likes of the other down to P10. I think just relaxing too much.
I don't know, mate. He's doing a 125.77. Is he really relaxing?
For Jay, yeah, because he could do 124s like you were doing earlier.
Oh, yeah, mate. I was flying along. Absolutely flying. You know what I mean? Should have seen me. It was like there was Lewis Hamilton in my car. And I was...
But you're right. Looking at the picture, it doesn't look like he's relaxing at all, mate. Does it? Like,
no,
considering he's got his IMAX screen right there.
Yeah, you can see it there. He's not relaxing in any shape or form. His arms are still quite stiff. When he needs to... You could do with loosening up your arms a little bit. You know, get a little bit more...
Yeah, aren't you supposed to... You're supposed to... Obviously, that's one thing that's taught you, I think, racing drivers, isn't it? How much of a slight angle... What is the angle of your elbow, like, to bend it a little bit? So your arms should never be fully straight, of course. You're going to be super tight doing that. You shouldn't have them too bent. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to get the full traction. They teach you that, don't you, when you do sports driving? Just a slight angle. I'm not quite sure what the angle is. It's probably person to person, but the elbows have to be bent just a little bit. Yeah. And it helps you with your turning circles as well, too, as you can see when he's turning through the corners there. He kind of doesn't get kerfuffled, I'd say, in your cockpit.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to know now whether or not... I don't know if he's going to lock down Dylan Gonez. Dylan is so far ahead, 15 seconds up the road, and he hasn't got long. Don't get me wrong, Dylan last time out did a 128.3. Jay did a 120... What did he do last time? 126.38. So Jay's in the 126s, Dylan in the 128, 2 seconds a lap. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Maybe Jay Smart might be able to get him at the end of the race, but it's going to be a close one. He's got to keep trying to take 2 seconds out per lap, which is a tall order, really, for somebody, isn't it, really?
And on tyres are going to wear quicker too. Yes. But if anybody could do it, Mr. Smart can. We know that. We've seen it before in the past. If they could chase anybody down the field and apply his absolute best. But also, remember, when you're on the absolute racing limit, as you can see, this track is punishing. So he's got to remember that in the back of his head, because he does have Mr. Johnson down the road there. And Thomas, so any mistake that he goes around, he's going to lose 5 and 6 and 7. As you can see the battle on your screen with Michael. So you have to put that in the back of your mind and say, is it worth the risk for an extra point or so for perhaps losing 4 positions and losing a ton of points? I don't know. I don't think drivers think like that, do they, James? They just go.
Yeah, it's just full foot to the floor, go. Try and go as fast as you can, as quick as you can, and if you're doing laps quicker, 2 seconds faster than the person in front, then, oh well, you'll catch him eventually, as he's got the time down below 14 seconds now.
He's got a fan club out there too, James, Zachary Podcast. I'm not quite sure if you want to get, if we can, maybe, if there's a little bit of a break to bring in the drivers, have a quick chat to us that have retired.
Still in his chat room. Let's have a look and see if... No, it's not. It's not in the Discord.
Yeah, we have Miller and already them, Orion, be at that 4 times, as you can see on the screen right now. Dan did go back out after his fast repairs, so good on you, Dan. Like I said, get some practice and experience in. Why not? It's the best way to do it in racing conditions. And he was quite pacey, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Our young Dutch friend in the start of the show.
He has switched over to soft tyres now, so whether or not he realised that he hadn't gone and changed, and that's why he was going in again. Could be the reason why he's now on softs. Unfortunately, he binned it on the way in the pit lane, which, rookie mistake.
He'll just say it's all a part of the plan, James. That's what he'll say.
What plan can you have about binning the car in the pit lane? Jay is thundering.
I was going to do a three stopper anyway, so it doesn't really matter. 2 stopper.
Yeah, we're currently looking at Michael Kostick and, of course, Thomas Boniati in front of us currently at the moment. Jay is thundering along. The gap is now down to 12 seconds, and he's got precisely 5 laps to go. Soon to be 4, because Graham's coming around the top part of the Hyundai curve, which is turn 16. The part of the circuit is on the exit of where the Nords comes out here as well, so it is combined. You can combine the tracks together, and then you end up with 174 corners. If you just run Nords on your own, it's 154, I believe, and then with a combined and as well, it does go up to 174, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So
you know I'm off by heart, James.
Sorry?
And we'll get you know I'm off by heart, and we're going to give a little surprise to the drivers and let them know that in the last 2 laps that they're actually going to switch over to the full Nordschleife track.
Oh yes, I forgot. We've got to tell them they've got to open it up to the full Nords on the last 2 laps. So that's
Barney's going to lift the fence up and say, "Okay, guys, you're going to go down here for the last 2 laps." Here we go. This should be our run.
Yeah, he should be done here. Michael Kostick on the inside of Thomas Boniati. He leaves him a bucket load of room there. That's like a thanks very much, my friend. Here, have as much room as you want to try and come back up the outside. That was a lot of room left for Thomas there from Kostick. The gap's now down to 10 seconds with 4 laps remaining. It's not going to do that, surely.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean?
That's one for the chat. That's one for the chat.
2 seconds quicker last time out. 128.
Yeah.
2.7, 126.15.
Well, would you have predicted Max Verstappen to come back in the previous race from his position? Well, anything is possible in motor racing.
I don't know really. I've given up trying to do predictions because they never work out, and then I end up, well, it just ends up going wrong. So I don't really do predictions, especially as it normally ends up revolving in somebody having an incident, which is never good. So, but there is the lap times for the last 4 laps for Jay Smart and Dylan Gonaz. We will keep that on your screen currently at the moment as well. Gap's now down to 9 seconds. Another 1.1 come out from Jay Smart on lap 30. Got damaged lap 1 and was slow on a track that I was slow on from slow from the get-go. Oh, okay, got you. That was Zach there. He's retired. He said no, I'm not doing it anymore. Giving up. Quit. He did. So there we go. But this is your still Thomas Boniano and Michael Kostick battle. This gap's now down to 8 seconds. I tell you what, Dylan's got to be sitting in that car sweating a bunch. Look at his relative plummeting down plummeting continuously, rapidly every single lap. So.
Well, yeah, you're right, James. But what I'd be telling him as an engineer is, don't look at that. Look at the lap counter. Because you've only got 3 or so to go, 4 to go. So that's what you'd be focusing on. Make them tick over as quickly as possible, and you got it. Forget what's happening behind you.
Yeah.
You'll be okay. Nothing that Nathan's leading this race, of course. This is going to be fantastic too, you'd have to say there from Jonas Silva after his week off. Back in there in a P2 position, getting 2 positions in this race, and getting more points there in the championship for his championship dreams to still be alive.
Yeah, I think he's got to try and get as many as he possibly can over the next set of races. Don't get me wrong, if he stays where he gets 14. Jay currently down in 4th, gets 12, but then he got the bonus points to the fastest lap, the hardest charger to finish in the race, of course, and finishing with a 0x. So I'm not entirely sure anybody's going to finish a 0x. I'd like to point out Jay Smart just took 2.3 seconds out from Dylan Gonaz with little under 7 seconds gap difference now. So clearly
He's really gone off tracks too. You see the little red that flashes next to his name? That means a lot of off tracks. We can't count that, unfortunately, can we, James? We're trying to figure out how to do that, but it doesn't give us accurate numbers.
No, the numbers are scattered. If you think about it at the moment, Dan Peoples has got, if you read off what we've got, Gatke's got 16, Peoples got 16, Miller's got 17, Kokis has got 15. So it's a little bit unpredictable there. Zach, how many off tracks did you have?
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm showing Nathan with 49 off tracks on my telemetry, but we know.
I've got 37. See, that's 37. What I mean. It's not consistent.
Yeah, I know. It's not consistent.
No.
But that's still a lot, isn't it? That's got to be close to penalty territory.
No, you'll be surprised.
Even if it is.
You'll be surprised
Yeah,
how wrong
okay.
that actually can be. What's the gap going to come down to now as we go? Graham's on lap 32.
Yeah, he's still got a pending question out there, Zachary.
DRS gaps down to 5.7, 1.5 remaining.
Well, that's a
1.5
tall
that last
order.
lap. Mate, yeah.
You
five.
need some rain, and you need some is that Glock moments, don't you, James? We go back to that Interlagos. That would be the only way, I'd have to say, now you would see a situation where about 5 seconds off and change that's just ripped off the timing tower for him. Dylan's got to put his head down. And once again, if I was Dylan's engineer, I wouldn't even tell him, but would just turn off all your telemetry, just drive that car, and rely on your engineer telling you exactly what's going on.
Well, he's now going to be able to see him. Godas has got up through the centre, centre S's, Schumacher S's. Just up the road currently at the moment. I don't
Can we run on
think it's
board with
going
Jay for a second there,
Yeah,
if you don't mind, James, so we can have a look?
it's the final lap of the race for Nathan Graham. There he is. Dylan's up the road there, coming into the hairpin. Here we come, of course. Oh, he's going to try.
You see how perfect that was there, where it didn't lift it off if you hit those nasty inside bumps?
Yep.
You can see a little snap there, I'd say. It wasn't perfect exit. He overcorrected it just a tad. And again, why am I talking about that? I'm not a full driver.
4.3. He's not going to get that.
Michael's had a moment, I think, too.
Yeah, Michael Kostick looks like he's just been involved in an incident as well. We'll have a quick look back. We have got Nathan Graham going around the bottom hairpin currently at the moment. So let's see what Michael Kostick's been up to. This was, of course, with Tamas Boniadi, who tucked up right behind him as well. Oh, Tamas is done. No, Kostick's well out.
Oh, that's what we, exactly. That's what happens when you get your wheels off. That was 3 wheels off, I'd say, at that point, wasn't it? There was absolutely no traction coming out of that corner.
Yeah, the man with very little to do throughout the race. After the pit stops, of course, once Jay got his penalty for speeding, Nathan Graham is going to come round and take the win here at the Nürburgring. Here we go. He comes across the line. It is Nathan Graham takes the victory. John Silver is going to get second place bar any major issues. And Dylan Godas should, I'm going to say should, he's coming around that fateful chicane.
He better now. Dylan's going to be just completely mad with himself and the team, of course, the Victoria's Secret. If he doesn't, no, he's got it saved. There it is.
He's got it, yeah.
Good job there, P3.
Gap at the end, 2.6 seconds from 15 or whatever it was.
Yeah, I bet you he's like, oh, thank God there wasn't one more lap.
Yeah, he would have been in trouble.
Yeah.
Sean Atkins is another one coming as well. Sean is currently in 8th place. Elliot Borg in 9th. Elliot's coming through the Schumacher S's. He probably wished he backed off just a little bit to allow Jay Smart through, so he didn't have to do this extra lap that he's now got to do. I would have backed off and allowed Smart through, Nathan Graham through, just so I didn't have to come round again. But Elliot Borg here.
Yeah, bringing home Elliot hasn't been the best of days, of course, for the racing, but still, points are points, as you said. And you want to see Barney.
You do.
Barney misses you, Elliot, but he's not going to miss you too much longer because you're about to go around the final corner and you will see him.
There he is.
You might say this has been a bit of a bull race, but don't worry about it. He's still going to get in the top 10. And look at that, Dan even gets in the 10th place as well, too, for his debut race.
I wouldn't even mind now, right? But Barney won't even waving the flag. Barney clearly has had a night off.
No, Barney.
He just didn't want to. He's like, nah, guys.
He got replaced by Tim Cook. Just a little, I can barely lift it. There we go.
No, he just didn't want to have none of it. He's waved his right arm enough today, clearly. So there you go. Your winner is Nathan Graham from the Part-Time Pros. John Silver in second. The Colombian from Scuderia Andromeda, 15 seconds back. Dylan Gonas, Victoria's Secrets in third. That is your top 3. Jay Smart, Clutches of Wales, finished 2.6 seconds back from Dylan Gomez after being out 16 seconds. Daniel Johnson in 5th from Cobalt Racing. Tomas Boniadi in 6th from Bull Shift Racing. Michael Kostick in 7th, Broken Rings Racing. Sean Atkins 8th, Victoria's Secrets. Elliot Borg 9th for Bull Shift as well. Dan Peoples, JP Broadcasting in 10th. Tyler Gatke 11th for Broken Wings, with Matt Miller in 12th from Broken Wings as well. 14 laps back, of course, did not complete the race. Zachary Kokis did not either from the Clutches of Wales, 15 back in 13th. Lindsay Green the 3rd in 14th for the Burnt Rubber Racing team, and Ryan O'Connor all the way down in 15th place. 21 laps back, did not want to partake any more. So there we go. Wow. That's
well, yeah, James, you've got a couple of those drivers who want to be participating in the interview. So you like to go ahead and conduct those interviews and push the buttons of the drivers' brains as to how this race went.
Well, let's start off with your winner, Nathan Graham, having an epic battle with Jay Smart coming into the pits. And then, unfortunately, a speeding penalty took the battle away, and he won the race by about 15 seconds in the end. Good evening, Mr. Graham, sir. How are you?
What's up, guys? Doing well, thanks.
Well, okay, so let's run through it. We're going to stage it, I think, on this one, because it was a kind of a two-stage race, wasn't it? Up to the pit stops, it was really close. Mm-hmm. Jay got the penalty, and then you kind of just run away with it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it started with the heat race. Jay had phenomenal pace, and I was definitely struggling to find pace today. So I was just going to try to stay in Jay's DRS and see what happens. He made a little bit of a mistake, so I ended up just passing him. But every time I tried to pull away, he would just pull right up to me. So it was going to be a really fun race, the whole race. And then, yeah, I've been where Jay's been before and made a mistake in the pit, and it ruined my race. So I feel bad for him for that.
Yeah, it must have been tough because you guys were on for, you know, an absolutely incredible battle there at the end, wasn't it, really? And it was going to be an absolutely epic fight. You know, okay, it's a tough one for you, Nathan, isn't it, really? Because you're not really in the championship fight, but you probably should have, would have, could have, almost, as such.
Yeah, I just missed too many weekends having travel and stuff, but otherwise I think I definitely could have been up there having some fun fighting Jay and all the guys. But either way, I'm having a good time just coming out here and racing the dudes.
Yeah, so which are you going to make next week?
Yeah, I'll be here next week.
So next week at Detroit. So that should be...
That's going to be interesting.
No, I like to say, no, we don't use interesting because that means it could be a mixture of either complete and utter chaos or a really good race. So we say more it's going to be exciting. I think Nathan is...
Exciting is definitely, I think, a good word for it, yeah.
I think so too as well. But there you go, Nathan Graham. Thank you so much for joining me. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go this evening?
Yeah, my team, Part-Time Pros, my wife for letting me race, and then also a shout out to my wife's sister who just flew in from Chicago for the weekend. So glad to have you here, Maggie.
Well, after all of them thanks, mate, I would say you're definitely secured. You don't have to sleep on the sofa. So.
Oh, yeah.
Good job.
We're good to go.
Good to go. Take care, mate.
Thanks, guys.
All right, and then in second place, we have got John Silver waiting in the booth. John, good evening. How are you, sir?
Oh, guys, I'm so exhausted but happy.
Well, that's okay. So that's a good way to be, isn't it? You know, you picked up second place. Would you say fortunate second place, John, do you think?
Well, at the beginning, I was like, it's going to be really tough because I started like, I think P4. And then Dylan overtook me because he was on soft, so he had really good traction. And I said, oh, it's going to be really hard because I had a nice battle with Dylan, but the other guy, Nathan, Jay, and Mike, they were like just going. And I said, no, man, this is going to be just impossible. And so then I think Mike was first. And then Jay, I think something that happened.
He got a speeding penalty in the pits.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, this is an opportunity. But then I think, yeah, Dylan came to the pits. I was on the pit like lap 22, 23. I don't remember. And he was right there. Like, I was like, please, this is going to be really nice, this battle. But I was glad that I got the position. So I was trying to just manage it. And yeah, I'm really happy to be back because for my job, I think maybe I cannot race anymore, but still I'm here.
Well,
I'm here.
That's all that matters, John, and a stunning second place there, buddy. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go this evening?
Of course, I want to first to Nathan, and he was really fast. And Dylan, amigo, that was a nice battle that we had. Also to all the people that make this F1 League possible, Brian, Dylan, Mag. I mean, all of you guys, thank you so much. And also, I want to thanks to you guys that you stay here. And well, hopefully we can talk the next race at the podium.
Hopefully as well, John. But thank you so much, buddy. You take care, and we look forward to hopefully speaking to you soon.
All right. Adios.
Adios. So now we are going to bring in the man who was 16 seconds in front of the rocket that is J Smart. He finished 2.6 seconds ahead, praying that he was on the last lap because he wouldn't have wanted one more. And that is Dylan Gones. Dylan, welcome in. How are you, sir?
Still on this side of the dirt yourself?
Mate, I'm wonderful. Do you know what? Right, I'm so glad you got third place. I did seriously panic for you because that time was just coming down and down.
Yeah.
And I thought, if Dylan looks at his relative and realises he's gone from 16 to 10 within a few laps, I just didn't want that panic to happen in the car. How did you cope with it? Because you must have seen it coming down, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, to be honest, I'm surprised I'm here again, you know. A clean race and stuff, but like once John beat me out of the pits because I knew he was gonna bolt on softs and just cruise by me, but I was hoping to beat him out of the pits to at least make it hard for him. But once he got by me there, I was like, well, he was faster than me already. So after that, I was just kind of managing the gap to Jay every lap after that. Like with like 5 to go, it's like, maybe you should pick up the pace a little bit, Dill. And then I'm just like, no, Dylan, don't do it. You got this. Just stick to this pace. And there's no way he'll catch me. And then with 2 to go, it's like, well, I'll get the 1 to go. All right, we're good. So I was just kind of managing that gap very, very carefully, I guess.
I think that was the thing. It was the managing of the gap, but that comment just made me chuckle because I don't think Jay was managing anything. He was just full foot to the floor, and it was just like 1.8, 1.5, 2.6, and I was like, oh no, oh Dylan, get on, son.
Trust me, I was watching the relative in some spots. I just watched that thing drop like a bag of potatoes, and it was just like, holy, he was just stupid fast. I don't know what happened to him, but he definitely deserves to be on the podium. It's a shame whatever happened to him.
He got a speeding in the pit lane, apparently.
Well, quit breaking the law. He don't deserve up here, I guess, eh?
No, he should have stuck within the rules, shouldn't he? Hey?
That's right.
He did deserve it, but however, he did make an epic attempt at trying to get hold of you, Dylan. So fair play for you to hang on there, sir. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go this evening?
Yeah, for sure. Wilder Graphics, Grid Finder, the Butt Kicker helps us out. You guys, everybody that donates to the league, keep us going. It's been a blast. Everybody at home watching. Like, it's time for me to switch my name in the Discord from Crash Tiffy back to my regular name, I think.
Yeah, oh yes, 2 podiums in a row. What more can you ask for?
That's right.
You take care, man.
Hey, thanks.
And there we go. That has rounded off the interviews this evening. Absolutely incredible. Biggles, sum it up for us. Biggles?
Yeah, you just pulled me out of the wrong room into the other room, but that's okay.
Oh no, I
missed
did.
What you
Hold
just
on,
said.
let's go back. There we go. We're in the right room now.
Yeah, yeah, it's fine. Go ahead.
It's late. I said, sum it up for me.
Oh yeah, well, you'd have to say, you know, it's a bit of a disappointment. Once again, abide by the rules. Being in the pit road, blah, blah, blah. But J40's way back up. Great job there. Absolutely fantastic job there from Nathan, seizing the opportunity when he can. John's back, of course, to the Colombian driver. Dylan, what a great, defensive drive there for the Canadian driver back on the podium. You summed it all up, didn't you? Also, give it to Daniel B. Johnson again. one of the biggest gainers, finishing in P5 as well too. So that's all you can ask for.
Absolutely. Well, guys, that is it. We're going to round off tonight's broadcast. Thank you to everybody that's joined me. Race Murray, the Dan Redcoat as well. Tyler Gatke was popped in earlier on, and Stephen Borg, of course, Elliot Borg's brother. Thank you so much for joining me. And Zachary Kokis there coming in at the end after he did ceremoniously crushed out and then turned around and said, I've had enough. He didn't want to do it anymore. So fair play to you. But that is it, guys. We are going to be back tomorrow night with the Radical Race Series from Sebring on Thursday. And then on Thursday evening, for all you wonderful Americans, of course, that watch the channel, we've got the P-Cup American Round 3, of course, with Mr. Dean Biggles here in the booth and Dan Peebles, who was just on track. And then we have also got, at the same time, the Triple Bypass Gen 4 League from Iowa as well, and that goes off with myself and Kenton Sportsac. So we've got two going out exactly the same time tomorrow as well. So absolutely amazing set of racing. Thank you so much for joining us. If you are watching live, thumbs up, subscribe, turn on the bells. If you're not, thumbs up, subscribe, turn on the bells after you've watched it back. Much appreciated. But for now, guys, that is it. That's going to round out tonight's broadcast from myself and the mighty Dean Biggles in the booth. Take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.